What's going on, Kobo? So, attempt to do a dungeon. Hopefully, I get a random. Just to show you newer players what it's about. Also, to show even players that have the dungeons unlocked what heroes are about and whatnot. So, first, we're gonna get into the hero. They've already had different skins, so you can change the skin of your hero. You need to find them in the dungeon or buy them through the store. Everyone's given the human man. Starting off, they have the natural hair on him. Anyway, I chose mine to be female just because this is the most I have unlocked that I can use at once. So I got the female with the red hair. I'd like to get the legendary hair, but don't have it yet. Or even get like some sort of cool hat for it. But I don't have anything like that yet. Shoulder pads are default with your character. I did get the golden eagle wings, which I guess I could equip those. Anyway, your hero's appearance doesn't really matter. It's basically what you guys want as your for them, like whatever you want them to have. I believe the default sword is this one, your heroic sword. I unlocked the demon lord sword, so I wear that. There's really no need for me to have on the fluffy slippers, but it's the coolest one I think I have unlocked, which I don't think I have anything else unlocked. I mean, you get the noble knight boots, but anyway, back to it. So you'll notice up here in the top left corner, it will have a number. Mine says 8,000 or 867,200. That is basically stating my hero's might. That might is going to be added on to the total troop might. So you already know the 800,000, 225 or 25,000 that I have. Basically everything above 3 mil is from my hero, leaving a little bit of it being from my hero. So really, my power is just a little under 2 mil if we didn't have a hero, which is considered pretty high, but not the highest. I need to get more legendary gems going on this person. Like, I just need to get more legendary and epic gems in order for my characters to be stronger. And wouldn't hurt if I could get some rare gear, but I have pretty good gear on as it is. Anyway, so let's go over the slots. So, if you notice here in the middle, they got the cross. You notice on the symbol itself, there's like 3 circles around it. That is going to basically allow you to tell the difference between your main relics and your side relics. So for this one, it allows me to resurrect 3 random allied units with 9%, which they changed it. It used to be resurrect them all, but I guess it's 3 now. But there, as you can tell, I have several different relics, and at the bottom it'll tell you how much might it gives you. So if I really wanted to boost my might up, I could sit here all day and play around with what's going to give me the most might. But right now I have a pretty steady thing going. Like, this is 16,800, 16,800. This is only 9,800. So if I really wanted to, I just equip, replace. Now my hero is stronger. That's 32,000. And the banner of glory is not going to get me. Since I'm going to be doing a dungeon, I am going to actually switch out for something other than my banner. Because this is just going to give me more glory. It's how I'm able to get most of my glory when other people aren't on, or if I'm just doing anything. Anyway, so now I'm just under 900,000, which if you notice, my might went up a little bit more, not much more. So that's just a quick rundown of the hero. Oh, and you also have your constellations. These constellations goes up to 215 right now. They used to be 100, but they updated the game, which gave us more constellations over here, which I have some unlocked, but not all of them. And they get pretty expensive. Like, just for me to get another thing of Vampirism, which I'm only 2 away from maxing Vampirism out, which is, by the way, a great one to get. I recommend leveling up Vampirism as much as possible, because, like, with this one, each blow, allied warriors restore health equal to 25% of the damage done, and that's on level 6. It's gonna only go up too every time you level it up. I recommend getting Vampirism, and this one at the end called Regeneration. It's only halfway level, or halfway up from being maxed, but every 5 seconds, my warriors, or in dungeons you will have your allied warriors with you too. They regenerate almost 13,000 health in every 5 seconds. Automatic, just for your hero being there. So that's a really good one. Anyway, you can also, like, if you click on this, on the little circle up here, you'll see, like, they're starting to get filled out. It'll tell you a basic rundown on how much percentage you have completed. As you saw, most of mine were about 60 out of the 215, which is roughly 30. 60 is like 30% out of the 215 for each one. My mage one's the lowest, which I gotta get up to 60, and then I'm working on getting them all to 70. I'm just doing 10 at a time each one, leveling them up. Anyway, you can go to the store once you're unlock the dungeon. And the little thing over here on the right side above clothes, you'll see says 3,398. That's your Aetherin. Your Aetherin, you can spend 10,000 Aetherin and get 2,000 constellation tokens, which looks like a lot, and it is a good bit at first when you start off, but as you saw in the other one, I need like 25,000. And it takes a while to get your Aetherin. For me, I get it a little quicker than anyone else, but you can also spend diamonds in here if you wanted to help get you stuff. Random relic, so that will help you level up the different relics you have. So you'll need to get like stupid dweller I have in there. So this is like your relic. So right now I have 5 out of 8. If I did the random relic and happen to get this, I still have to get 2 more. And I know like this one I have 8 out of 8. So I'm able to upgrade it, right? Well, wrong. I believe that's Archer. Yeah. I'm able to upgrade it, yes, once I get 2,500 Archer tokens. So it takes quite a bit to upgrade your relics. It's not really that difficult. It just takes time. The heroic set here is pretty useful. 750 diamonds. It gives you anywhere between 6 to 10,000 Aetherin, which is quite handy. I've actually got a couple of these, and it really is helpful. It gives you 3 to 5 random relics. So basically, you can get this one for 10 random relics, or like do whatever this one's going on today, get 1 for 99. But this gives you 3 to 5. So, and you get Aetherin, and you can also get like another skin art or skin thing for your hero, which is nice. You could buy Ethernet catchers. Basically, don't be deceived by the times 4, times 10, times 2. It's always times 20. It's always times 2. So with this, it will even tell you you'll be getting 2 times as much ether for winning battles in the dungeon. It says times 4 in here because you get 4 of them. So your next 4 fights, you'll get times 2. Or if you got the 20, your next 20 fights after you bought this, the next 20 times you did the dungeon, your Ethernet catcher will be times 2. So say you got 5,000 throughout the whole dungeon, you couldn't complete it, so you only got like 5,000. Well, you're gonna get 10,000 because it's double. Torches, they're nice. You can play it for food, which is 120,000, or you could do it for torches. And the torches are nice because just from you beating a monster, you get a legendary chest. You get another chest with it. What's it called? You will get another chest for beating the bosses. There's normally 2 in there unless you get the glitch, which they should have worked out by now. If they didn't. Where literally I started a game where it was nothing but bosses. And we got like 2 bosses in and then we were dead. Because we didn't have any way to heal ourselves or anything. But they're nice because they give you an extra chest, which it can give you clothing for your hero. It could give you relics. It gives you direct tokens of certain things. They're nice. Scroll of Resurrection. This is actually an important one that you guys are going to want to get. I don't believe I have any right now. I might. I don't know. I'd have to look whenever I'm in that dungeon. But this is helpful because if you get taken out, like one of your main heroes dies. Like for me, I have my main 6, but I only really use 3. Every fight I have like the same 3 in unless the dungeon prevents one of them's abilities. And it's always my 1 tank Matthew, because he's really good on holding his own and deals a decent amount of damage. And then I use my healer Hannah. She heals everybody up, and I use my resurrection, which is Elizabeth. She's pretty good. She'll resurrect Matthew with full health if he dies, which is nice. And I normally stick with those 3 unless obviously I can't. And then if I had to pick a 4th one to throw in for the fights that have 4 or more, I always pick my archer because he heals himself and he does quite a bit of damage himself. And he can dodge a lot of hits, so he can stay on the ground, or he can stay in a fight pretty good. My other mage is a damage mage. I only really use her if I need to, say I have nobody else, or if I'm against one of the bosses you actually cannot reach with your warriors, so you're relying on your mages and your archers to kill them. So I have a damage mage that is pretty good for that, but that's about all she's really good for, considering doesn't have like a bunch of health. Like she has a good bit of health, but she's not like best at taking hits or anything. She's just really good at dealing damage. And then my other main is a tank called Jerry, and Jerry, he's good. Like, you can even see, like, I can even go in and make another videos on how I made my characters and whatnot and why I chose what I did and good ideas for you guys. But his DPS is 26,331. That's an average. If you notice, like, his weapon is fast, his attack speed, his damage is 4,300 to 4,800. That's per second. That's an average. It's going to be somewhere roughly around there. Plus, you have to encounter all the boost I have on him. The damage boost right here from this. 26,000 per second is a lot, which is good. Jesus, I can't spell with crap. No, I just can't type it. I don't really use him. Yes, he's fantastic on killing. I use him in boss fights definitely, but his health's not the best. He dies pretty quickly, and I have to rely on Elizabeth saving him more than I'd like to. And then the ether down here at the bottom, as you can see, it's quite a bit. For 70,000 ether, you got to spend 3,500. Definitely like a good buy, but not something I'd say go waste money on getting diamonds for. Which, I gotta see, do I even have any of these? I don't. Well, looks like I'm doing it without Ethernet catcher. I usually keep Ethernet catchers and the torches. And you can win torches in the chest, because I haven't bought torches in a while. Anyway, participate. For your squad, you're going to want your heroes, everything to be in there. You're going to want your main fighters. Whoever's in your barracks, that's your main fighters, you're going to want them, definitely. Which, if you can see, mine ranges Elizabeth, Hannah, and Matthew. Those are the 3 I normally use. That's why I have them in the front. Jerry and Tom and Ariana, or Area. Those 3 are the other 3 in my barracks. they're good fighters too. And then after my main 6, because you can only have 8, I have my main 6, Abigail. She is the only other level 100 wizard I have with a legendary artifact. And the artifact she has is perfect because it has to do with slowing down enemy movement for 5 seconds and restoring health for everybody. She's a pretty good healing mage as well. And then throw in a weak, non-needed dweller, like this one. She's level 4. I haven't leveled her up at all. She just happens to be level 4. She doesn't have any gear, nothing. The reason you want that is there is a thing called Sacrifice of the Altar in there, where you have to pick one of your fighters to be tributed in order to continue on with the dungeon. You have to pick one, and your teammate wants to pick one. So use area. Well, I use area. Just use a random dweller for that because